From CEFCU Arena in Normal, Illinois, Clutch Sports Media is live and ready to go. A Class 3A state semifinal between Washington and St. Viator. Both these programs 2 wins away from their first ever state championship. St. Viator and Washington, the Panthers, are back for the second year in a row. And a high-quality Washington team, to say the least, coming in at 33-2. St. Viator at 22-14. There are 7.5 minutes on the clock in the pregame warm-ups. I'm Joey Wright. To my right, courtside, is Michael Savoy. Michael, this is going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah, in state championship basketball, state finals basketball, it doesn't get any better than this. Whether it's boys or girls, it's always going to be a fun atmosphere. And you know, you might look at this and think that there's an easy front runner, but this St. Viator team really more of an underdog role in this postseason. They're ready to give Washington all they have. Looking at Washington, as I mentioned, 33 wins, 2 losses. They've not gone to the state title game since 1977. And last year they bowed out in the semifinal round, bounced back and got a 3rd place finish. But almost this entire Washington roster, seniors that have contributed in a big way, some juniors we'll see off the bench, and Kate McDougall projected to be in the starting lineup as a freshman. But Avery Tibbs, senior scorer for Washington, how about her? Averaging 20.5 points per game, just under 4 rebounds, 2.5 assists. She does it all for Washington, but what they appreciate most from her is her scoring. Yeah, her scoring is top tier. She's shooting nearly 50% from 3, which is nearly unheard of. It's unbelievable for her to be shooting that well from downtown. And she doesn't just shoot, she also distributes the ball very well. She plays sound defense. She's really the complete player. And she's looking to lead her Washington Panthers to, like you said, Joey, their first ever state title. They were so close last year, but now this is the year they can finally get over that hump. How much do you think that experience from last year's state run helps the Panthers? They had a great regular season a year ago. This year they've already won 33 games. A few of those certainly have come in the playoffs. A big 73-47 win against Providence Catholic in the super sectional round to get here. Well, I think like the experience last year definitely helps them out. I think, you know, losing, you know, kind of more of a humbling moment against St. Ignatius in the semifinal round. They started that game off so poorly, they'd even admit that themselves. And, you know, that really just motivated them for this season to come. They obviously will always play a very good regular season schedule, whether it's the TOC, the State Farm League Classic, or really just a great Mid-Illini schedule. They're always going to be prepared for the regular season, but it's a different season than the postseason. It really comes down to motivation, and obviously that time last year in the state finals really motivated them for a time this year. You know, they had returned a lot of their starters, returned a lot of their players. So they're already really talented, a lot of experience with the seniors. So really that experience last year does pay dividends for this year's team. A tough start against St. Ignatius in 2025. They stormed back in the second half. A fervent comeback bid fell just short, but they did bounce back to beat Quincy Notre Dame 60-51 in last year's 3rd place game. St. Viator, on the other hand, they are here at state for the first time ever. They lost in the sectional semifinals a year ago to Grays Lake Central. They've used that as motivation to win 22 games entering this afternoon's game. And St. Viator, when we look at the Lions, pretty balanced scoring attack. Bella Gornis and Ava Garcia, the 2 in the lineup for the Lions that we'll probably keep an eye on. They average just over 11 a game. Yeah, they have a lot of guard play, not a whole lot of size, but they combat that with some really good guard play, a lot of good shooting on this team. Really just, you know exactly what they're going to do on offense. They're going to spread things out. They're going to make sure that their scoring is going to be from their guard play, and they also have a pretty good big in Catherine Ademski too, so she's going to be the clog inside for this Lions team. And, you know, like I said, Joey, this team really is more of an underdog. And, you know, 22-14, you might think, okay, like, no, they're a good team, but, you know, Washington probably has the upper hand just if you look at records. But this Arlington Heights St. Viator team has played a very tough schedule. They're up in the Chicagoland area in the suburbs where they're going to play a lot of those Catholic schools that are historically pretty solid at basketball. So they're always going to be battle tested, and they're ready for today. They are, and they've brought a nice contingent of fans behind our right shoulder here at CEFCU Arena. We are courtside opposite the benches. We are directly across from Washington's bench, and what a student section they've brought here to Normal. Short drive down Interstate 74 today. They've got
5 sections full in the lower bowl, and they've got fans in parts of 7 sections in the upper level here at CEFCU Arena, home of the Illinois State Redbirds. They just had a big reason to cheer as Washington came back out of the tunnel and onto the floor to complete the pregame warm-ups. 2 minutes and 45 seconds before the lineups will be introduced, and they'll introduce every player on both teams. No national anthem, as that was taken care of before Trinity and Glenwood played the first Class 3A semifinal this morning, and Glenwood a big winner in that one. Trinity a comeback bid in the fourth quarter fell short, and so the winner of this game back here tomorrow to face Glenwood. Whoever falls short today will be back later tonight to play Trinity for third place. Trinity going to wear its white home uniforms with blue side paneling, blue numbers, and blue dots on the side panels and the sides of the shorts. White, blue, and red. A little red outline on the Lions and the blue numbers for the Lions. Washington's going to be in its road black uniforms. And they've got the warm-ups on, but I believe they have white numbers, and they've got kind of a speckled side panel with some black or some white and orange dots. Washington student section, they've got a lot of signs behind the Washington bench. Washington's just gone back to its bench. I see a Go Panthers. I see a We Believe. I see an orange and black and orange crush signs. Washington student section. Washington has traveled really well.
Yeah, I was at their sectional, or their super sectional against Providence Catholic at Kankakee, and Kankakee's gym is not the biggest, but it definitely isn't small. Washington filled out that gym pretty well. You can really tell there was one side of the gym that, was Providence Catholic, and then there was another side of the gym that was Washington. Providence Catholic was behind us. I didn't get a good view of them, but I do know the bottom level was filled. The top level not as much. Washington filled the entire side of the gym. It was really impressive for a school that's 2 hours away to fill out that side of the gym that well. So they traveled very well here in Washington.
And they were rewarded with a nice, easy trip to Bloomington Normal here today. Washington will hope its trip today is a short one and they're back tomorrow, as will St. Viator. You want to avoid that third place game. The IHSA has gone back to an old schedule. That's later tonight. Tomorrow's championship game is the goal. Both teams meeting now at midcourt. Illinois State's home court. There's a Redbird logo on an Illinois outline, filled in with a little bit of darker hardwood there. They meet for a handshake and go back to their benches. Attitude is on the floor. Clock's almost at zeros for the pregame warm-ups, and as I mentioned, we'll meet every player on both teams before we tip this one off. Two coaches, Kim Barth for Washington, Kyle Brandy for St. Viator. As you hear the horn, these coaches, Michael, they run great programs. What's the final message to their teams here as they line up to be introduced?
I think for Washington, really, like we said, Joey, they were here before, and I know every Washington fan that's followed this team throughout the years knows that they were in this same situation before. So this shouldn't be new to them. Really just, because a lot of these starters are going to be seniors. They've been here, they've done it before. Really just keep your composure, know what you're doing, we're motivated, let's do this. St. Viator, they haven't been here in a while. None of these players have state series experience with the girls basketball team. So it might be a little bit nerve-wracking for them, but really just a message of calm down. We're here for a reason. We're a good basketball team. Let's just play our game.
Glad you're with us on ClutchSportsIL.com. We are running a little behind schedule here this afternoon. This game was to tip off at 11:45. We're just past 12:15 here in Normal, Illinois. So thanks for making us a part of your Friday afternoon. I can't imagine there are a lot of folks left in Washington paying attention to this one, because most of the community seems to be here with us in Normal. But if you are back home, thanks for following us. Thanks to our St. Viator fans that have found our stream as well. Jonathan Michael on hand for Clutch Sports Media. We'll look forward to his coverage after the game. He'll have stories at ClutchSportsIL.com. Free to read. Gabe Holoka also on hand helping us out. We'll hear from Washington Athletic Director Joe Elstadt at halftime. And alongside Michael Savoy, I'm Joey Wright. St. Viator being introduced. They are on the other side of the floor from our perspective and across the courts being introduced. And St. Viator's got a few fans behind the bench, but by and large, the Lions student section is across the way. was really loud in here during the first semifinal, Michael, because you had both these sections in addition to a very loud Trinity contingent, and Glenwood had plenty to cheer for as they won that first semifinal. It's cleared out a little bit here for this one, but I would imagine toward the end, when we get a little closer to that first 4A semifinal, the crowd will pick up again.
Yeah, for I'd say 10 to 15 minutes, it was very colorful here at CEFCU Arena. You had orange from Washington, you had the red from Chattanooga Glenwood, and you had navy blue from both St. Viator and Trinity here, and it was very colorful. It's cleared out a little bit, but I'd say clear out. There have been more fans coming in for both schools throughout the time. So a lot of orange, a lot of navy blue.
Listen to the roar of the crowd as Washington is introduced. Kate McDougall just ran through the tunnel of non-starters and cheerleaders. There's Avery Tibbs. Becca McDougall is going to be in the starting lineup.
Number 21, senior guard, Maggie O'Brien. And number 25 is senior forward, Danielle.
Rest of the starting lineup being introduced. Let's run through the starting lineups here just before we get things tipped off. Evelyn Hill, Bella Gunaris, Callan McRae, Catherine Adamski, and Ava Garcia for St. Viator. And their starters are about to be introduced. Kind of a weird order. They go non-starter, non-starter, starters, and starters. But for Washington, it's going to be Kate McDougall, Avery Tibbs, Becca McDougall, Mazzy O'Brien, and Danny Gaudet. The starting five for the Panthers, numbers 1, 2, 5, 21, and 25. All seniors for Washington except Kate McDougall, the freshman, playing with her sister Becca. Their older sister Claire is at Bradley right now. And that's a basketball playing family, Michael, and I don't think that the lights are going to be too bright for Kate. She's been on big stages before.
It really is the X factor when you think about, Kate and, the fact that she's a freshman playing with the seniors. And these seniors have been here before. All four seniors that are starting on the floor right now, Joey, were here last year playing crucial minutes for Washington. It's really just the X factor of how Kate views this experience because obviously being a freshman, you've never played in the IHSA State Finals before. So this should be an interesting experience for Kate here in the IHSA State Finals.
Almost ready to go at CEFCU Arena. Glad you're with us on ClutchSportsIL.com. Washington and St. Viator both looking for their first ever trip to the IHSA State Championship game, getting ready to settle a Class 3A state semifinal. For St. Viator in the circle, Emily Wahlberg, number 12 in white, but it's Washington that wins the tip-off. They quickly get it to Danny Gaudet, or pardon me, Avery Tibbs, and Tibbs has it knocked out of bounds 4 seconds into the game. Washington on the far side of the floor from our vantage point. They get it into Tibbs. Tibbs a floater off the glass. Washington's fans have plenty to cheer for as the Panthers open the scoring.
Well, that was pretty much the inbounds play they run pretty much all the time where Avery Tibbs inbounds the ball, then she gets a rip out of the inbound. She doesn't shoot the three right away. She instead drives in for two for the easier shot.
Ava Garcia out top for St. Viator. 25 seconds into this one. McRae for St. Viator on a drive to the left block, kicks it out to the corner, and Ava Garcia. Now on the left wing, St. Viator throwing it around. Garcia now out top, gonna drive on the right elbow. Picks up her dribble, kicks it out. No shot clock yet for the IHSA. That comes next season. 7-10 for the first quarter. St. Viator down 2-0. Here's Emily Wahlberg to McRae. McRae to the right wing, passing up a three is Gunaris. She drives, floater off the glass, falls to Washington. They clear the rebound. Gaudet up, kicks it out right wing to Kate McDougall. McDougall on a drive, kick out top, three on the way, that one falls. Washington a 5-0 run to open this one. 6:45 for the first, it's Danny Gaudet for three.
Washington, when they get the rebound, they are pushing the pace. They are really making this game on their terms.
St. Viator now on the other end. Quick deficit here, trying to get on the board. Down to the block, and Garcia has a shot disrupted. Washington again clears the rebound. Gaudet to McDougall on the left wing. Three on the way. Got it to go. 8-0 run for Washington in the opening minute, 40 seconds.
Kate McDougall, the freshman, we were just talking about it, Joey. Maybe she's got a little bit of nerves. She's never been in this situation before, but she's playing like a senior.
Washington out to an 8-0 lead. St. Viator on the other end. They kick it out top to Gunaris, the junior. She goes to the wing and McRae. She drives to the free throw line, pulls up for a shot, disrupted and fouled. They say that Mazzy O'Brien got a hand on the free throw, and now 2 free throws on the way for St. Viator.
It was so big for Washington to start this game off on a pretty big run. Last year they had started off so poorly to start the game, they weren't able to come back from a really big hole they dug themselves into. First free throw was missed, so it's still 8-0 Washington. This is so big for Washington to start this game off so strong.
McCray, the junior, averaging 7.5 points per game, entering play today. Big rebounder as well for the Lions. Averages 7, 3, and 3 if you round. That's the slash line. Her first free throw did not go.
That foul is on today. McCray at the free throw line.
McCray at the line. Second free throw. Off the mark. Still an 8-0 lead for Washington. We've got 5:55 for the first. Washington and Becca McDougall on the right wing. Pass all the way across the court. Lands in the St. Viator bench. Pass was intended for O'Brien, and she couldn't hold on to it. First Washington turnover of the game. Michael, what do the Lions need to do offensively to break this stingy Washington defensive attack?
Well, they just need really just to compose themselves, run their offense. They're a really talented team. They have really balanced all corners, but you can really tell, Joey, they're really nervous right now.
Benares, the junior, out top. Finds Garcia on the left wing. She drives to the left block, steps through traffic, and a foul is called.
Really, Joey, they just need to see something go through the hoop right now. It's one of those things where, you know, you can play all the offense you want. If you aren't able to score, you're just always going to be that tense. But once you see a ball go through the hoop, calms you down a little bit.
Todd Maxwell, Larry Watts, Dale Tiemann, our officiating crew tonight. St. Viator throws up a 3 in the corner. It doesn't go. 5:25 for the first quarter. Washington trying to get it into the offensive end, and a pass tipped out of bounds by the Lions. So Avery Tibbs will inbound from in front of the St. Viator bench with 5:23 left and an 8-0 lead here in the opening quarter. They get it to McDougall on the right wing. She goes high-low to Tibbs. Off the glass, no. Rebound, good day. Tips it to Tibbs. Tibbs, the putback won't follow. And it's out of bounds off of Washington, so St. Viator will inbound. Needing to drive the length of the floor here. 5:14, still trailing 8-0. They've yet to score.
They just need to get a ball through the basket. Washington's playing great man-to-man defense, aggressive man-to-man defense. You can tell Washington's been here before.
Evelyn Hill, 5'7" sophomore, is in for St. Viator. Now they get it to Callan McCray on the left wing. She drives to the left elbow, picks it up, kicks out to the wing in Garcia. Garcia out top, Hill for 3, and she puts that one in. St. Viator on the board, 8-3 with 4:45 for the first. And Washington quickly into the offensive end. McDougall on the right wing. A one-handed pass to O'Brien. O'Brien to Gaudet. Gaudet down low to Becca McDougall. Couldn't get it off the block. Offensive rebound for Washington. Becca McDougall at the free throw line. Pass to Gaudet. She puts it on the floor. St. Viator keeps it in. And Ava Garcia will run point as the Lions look to establish an offense here. Trailing 8-3 across the timeline. Now to the wing. 3 on the way for Benares. Won't fall. Rebound. Brought in by Washington. Gaudet got it on the right block. McDougall crosses the timeline. Kate McDougall drives to the free throw line. Pass to Tibbs in the corner. She had to fight to haul it in, but keeps it in bounds. And now Washington will slow it down with Gaudet. Foul is called. Away from the ball with 4:02 left. Washington an 8-3 lead.
Well, you're already seeing after that St. Viator made three-pointer that the Lions have been playing better man-to-man defense. They're playing more aggressive. They're getting more comfortable. Seeing that ball go through the basket really has helped their confidence. And Washington also has not played greatest offensively since their 8-0 run.
They get it into Kate McDougall between the rings. She drives right. Pass to the left block to Gaudet. Couldn't get it to go. Rebound for St. Viator. McCray takes it up. She stops out top. And the ball lands almost directly in front of us. Out of bounds. St. Viator couldn't connect on the pass. Emily Wahlberg was in the area, but didn't look like she was looking for the loose ball. We'll keep it right here as we reach immediate timeout with 3:45 left in the first.
Yeah, right now it's been a good game. I think, you know, St. Viator, all they really needed was just a shot to be going down, whether it's a 3, a free throw, a 2-point basket, a layup, whatever it was for St. Viator. They just needed a shot to go down. Initial 8-0 run to start the game for Washington really the Panthers haven't really done a whole lot offensively since their run. They've had good looks, they just haven't been able to finish them. So that's really the message for Kim Barth is we're doing a great job offensively, we're just not finishing our shots. We're letting at least a couple layups go by the wayside. And for St. Viator, really it's just, I believe the message probably before the game was we just need to get a shot to go down and we'll go from there. Play our style of basketball. We're here for a reason. IHSA state finals, we've had to win some really tough games to get here, so we're okay. Like, we got this.
It's a cool, calm, and collected Washington team. And what they've done, Michael, during this 8-3 start, I think that's reassurance for them, putting last year's Demons at the state finals behind them. Of course, they finished with a third-place effort, but that semifinal didn't go their way, didn't start their way. The second half was just fine, but I think what they've done with the strong start here in this one, and maybe to some extent they accomplished it last year in the third-place game, is settled in a little bit, just reassured themselves, hey, we belong, we've got this, and it's also inspired a great crowd here to think the same.
Yeah, we were on the call for that, Joey, I believe, right? I could be wrong. I think we were on the call for that semifinal game.
I think we did do the semifinal game.
Yeah, I think you could say they accomplished that in the third-place game, but obviously that's a third-place game. Washington knows they're good enough to win the entire thing, so they for sure accomplished, the 20-0 run that they were against with last year with the NATO run this year.
Panthers get it in out of the timeout. Avery Tibbs on a drive, splits the left elbow, gets down into the restricted area arc, and she is whistled for a charge with 3:35 left in the first. Washington still up by 5, 8-3. And that is the third foul of the quarter against Washington. First on Tibbs.
One of those fouls that could be momentum shifting. See if the Lions can take advantage of it.
Lions across the timeline, they turn it over. Tibbs intercepts a pass, drives left wing, elbow, pass to the block. And up, and O'Brien gets fouled on her way up. Got the pass on the right block and got fouled. 2 free throws on the way for O'Brien.
And McCray for St. Viator started her offense right on the Redbird logo on the middle of the court. When you're starting your offense as a point guard, you got to pick a side of the court to start it on to shorten that pass. That was a very long bounce pass, and that was easy for Tibbs to steal, and she gives it to Mazzy O'Brien for her to shoot 2 at the line.
And O'Brien got the first free throw to go. Catherine Adamski back into the game for the Lions. 9-3 Washington's lead. O'Brien's second free throw falls. 10-3 with 3:22 for the first. Glad you're with us on ClutchSportsIL.com. Lions get it across, and Kaylin McCray, she lost it out of bounds after a tough defense from O'Brien right there at the timeline.
Very tough defense.
And they'll say O'Brien touched it last. So Kaylin McCray, 5'7" junior, averaging 7.5 points inbounds. Gets it into Garcia. Garcia at the top of the key. Sends over a pass to Gunaris. And driving to the elbow is Garcia. Has to pick up her dribble. Turns around for a jumper, won't fall. From 10 feet out. Rebound brought in by Kate McDougal. She drives to the free throw line and turns it over. It was stolen away. Lions 2-on-1. They get it to Garcia. Easy left-handed layup. It's 10-5. 2:30 for the first.
Yeah, good job by Garcia on the defensive end, poking it from behind from Kate McDougal and going out on the fast break. 2 against 1, easy pickings for St. Viator.
Kate McDougal, 6-foot freshman for Washington, drives to the basket, right-handed layup, results in a foul. She averages just north of 5 points per game, does Kate McDougal, but she's right up there. 4th on the team in rebounds, 2nd on the team in assists. Shoots about 50% from the field, very efficient. Already a lot of college interest for Kate McDougal, deservedly so, and the freshman puts in her first free throw with 2:19 left in the first. Evelyn Hill back in for the Lions.
The fact that she's able to have that production as a freshman, she started the majority of the games for the Panthers, just speaks to her character and her motivation towards this game as a freshman playing varsity minutes. High quality varsity minutes too.
She got the second free throw to fall. If you're just joining us, Washington a 12-5 leader early on. 2:15 for the first quarter, a Class 3A state semifinal. Ava Garcia driving for the Lions, picks it up just a step past the free throw line. Pass to the right elbow to McCray. McCray's in trouble, has to throw a pass to the top of the key, completed to Gunaris. Gunaris wants a three from the left wing, left that a little long. Washington rebound, quickly ahead to Tibbs. Tibbs on the right block with contact. Almost got the and one, but she'll go to the line for two with 1:53 left in the quarter.
Washington's had their most success on the fast break and transition. Once they get a defensive rebound, they are pushing the pace. They have some success running offensive sets and going to the basket that way, but really it's off their transition offense.
Avery Tibbs at the line for Washington. Panthers leading scorer, got the first to go. St. Viator's used the bench a little more than Washington to this point. I would say a lot more than Washington, as Emily Wahlberg checks back in, replacing Gunaris. Tibbs with 4 points now as she hits the second free throw and makes it a 14-5 lead for Washington. 1:51 left for the first as Garcia brings it across midcourt. She's picked up by Ainsley Redling-Schaefer, fresh into the game for Washington. First off the bench, deep two from the corner won't go for Adamski. Rebound brought in on the block by Wahlberg, and she's fouled on her way up for the putback, so she'll shoot 2 free throws.
Yeah, really, you can just tell, Joe, even though they've scored a few points to this point, 5 points that is, that St. Viator really just hasn't felt comfortable on the offensive end. You got to credit both Washington's defense and obviously the fact that Viator has not been here before.
Washington student section impacts the free throw. It won't go for Wahlberg, who is one of 3 seniors on the St. Viator roster. Wahlberg for the season averages just 2.5 points per game, but she is 5th on the team in rebounds. Her second free throw falls. Wahlberg was in the starting lineup tonight. There was some confusion early on. She was in the starting lineup as opposed to one of the projected starters, so perhaps a late addition there for Coach Kyle Brahney. Redling-Schaefer for Washington on the offensive end fires a pass to Becca McDougal, and an offensive foul.
Yeah, she had the right idea, Becca McDougal did. She caught her on the baseline and she was going to go drive baseline, but she took too many steps without a dribble. That's an easy traveling call.
14-6, St. Viator crosses midcourt. Garcia dribbling right in front of us, and across from the Washington bench fires a pass to the right wing, and Evelyn Hill. Hill back out top to Garcia. She's picked up by Becca McDougal. Got to keep the McDougal sisters straight. They're both on the floor. Out top, and McCray to the wing and Garcia. Garcia to the corner, right corner and Wahlberg. Still working the right side of the court. McCray on a drive. In trouble here. She has to get a pass to the left wing, and a three falls for Emily Wahlberg. 14-9 with 42 seconds left in the first, and Washington turns it over. A quick pass to Becca McDougal on the offensive end on the right wing, and she couldn't haul it in.
That's why it's so important that St. Viator made their shot, because Washington had to inbound the ball. It gives St. Viator time to get back on defense, and it gives Washington less time to go really fast on their offensive end. That's what caused that turnover.
McDougal was contested. It wasn't like she just dropped an open pass. Lions putting a little pressure on. Here is Garcia picking up her dribble on the left wing and sending it out top to McCray. McCray passing from the center of the court to the left wing, and Evelyn Hill. Hill to Wahlberg out top, dribbles right, picks it up, and finds McCray. 13 seconds left for the quarter. And McCray had it knocked away by Ainsley Redling-Schaefer, number 11 guarding number 11. Gunaris back on the floor for the Lions. And almost directly at midcourt, opposite the benches here on the near side, St. Viator will inbound with 10 seconds left. Garcia's pass is intercepted to start this possession. Washington couldn't hold on to it. They say after Tibbs couldn't get the pass that it was knocked out by the by Washington. So 5 seconds left here for St. Viator. They've got to drive 3/4 of the court, and they get it into midcourt. Wide open is McCray. She drives to the basket for a layup as the buzzer sounds. And that's how the first quarter will end, 14-11. Washington leads, but St. Viator on a little bit of a run here.
Yeah, that's great offense there by the Lions. Inbounding the basketball with 5.6 to go. Wide open was McCray, and McCray had just got an easy bucket there, layup on the other end. And great play calling there by Coach Brahaney of St. Viator, getting the player wide open for an easy layup, and only trailing by 3. You know, you could have thought maybe in a couple minutes into this game, maybe it was more of a Washington runaway from the start, but St. Viator, give them credit. They've battled into this game, and they've only made it a one-possession game.
It's been a good one so far. Got to give a lot of credit to the Lions for settling in after Washington opened with the first 8 points of the game. And they've made it a 3-point game here with 24 minutes to play. Kate McDougall leading Washington with 5 points. Avery Tibbs has 4. Danny Gaudet has 3. Mazzy O'Brien has 2. And that's 14 for Washington. On the other side for St. Viator early on, another balanced approach. Emily Wahlberg has 4 points, including a 3 and a free throw.
Yeah, St. Viator, you think, Joey, maybe the first couple minutes maybe could have dictated the way this game was going to go. Experienced Washington team and versus an inexperienced St. Viator team, but like we said in the open, I think St. Viator really has gotten more of like an underdog mentality to them, and they've really bought into the underdogness of their team. It's really what's kept them motivated and kept them in this ball game. Washington, on the other hand, started off the game really strong. It's not like they've gotten bad looks on the offensive end. They've gotten great looks. Just haven't been able to finish them. And if they finish all the looks that they've had that are makeable shots, we're looking probably at a double-digit game. But nonetheless, it's 14-11. Washington's still on top.
Well, Kim Barth does such a great job with this Washington program. Came into this season having eclipsed the 200th win mark for her career last season, and she's added to that this year, now sitting at 245 wins against just 63 losses, pardon me. But strong winning percentage for Barth, just about an 80% clip. She's won games during her time at Washington here, and Washington is a program, a consistent winner. Even though I mentioned they haven't made a state title game since 1977, they're always at the top of the Mid-Illini Conference. They're always a threatening opponent in the postseason. And this is Washington's best shot to win a state title with the experience they've got on the floor. So many seniors. Kate McDougall's a great freshman. They'll have some returning talent. Certainly the window's never totally closed when you're talking about Washington, but there's a great opportunity for this Panthers team to make program history as the second quarter begins with the St. Viator inbounds. Ganaris firing one to the corner, and Evelyn Hill. Hill looking for the paint. It's a turnover. Her pass intercepted. Washington gets it to Tibbs out front for an easy layup. 16-11, 7:40 for the half.
Most of Washington's success on offensive end has come in transition. Becca McDougall at the steal, the pass out to Avery Tibbs, and Tibbs at the easy layup, opening up the quarters nicely for the Panthers.
Panthers out in front by 5. Evelyn Hill to the left wing. Now they center it up, and Garcia between the rings. Garcia stopping at the free throw line and fires a pass to the corner, left corner, but Evelyn Hill's foot was out of bounds. Kate McDougall will inbound for Washington. A St. Viator turnover.
Yeah, Hill caught the ball in the baseline, and she kind of looked down for a second. That sometimes gives an official indication that something isn't right. Her heel is on the out-of-bounds mark.
Washington getting one down low to O'Brien, and O'Brien is fouled on her way up, and she got it to go. And one, Mazzy O'Brien, 7-10 for the half. Washington's lead 18-11. They go out ahead by 7 points, and O'Brien a chance to make it 8.
There's so many ways this Washington team can hurt you, and all 5 players on the court for the Panthers can do a little bit of everything as Mazzy O'Brien hits the free throw.
Garcia taking it up for St. Viator. Washington actually has more turnovers, 7-5, but they've got more points off turnovers, 9-3. Nearly half of Washington's points coming because of a strong defensive effort. And a foul out in front here as the Lions looked to start an offense. And so right in front of us, on the other side of the benches, the Lions will tee it up. Evelyn Hill will inbound in the offensive end. Becca McDougall checks out for Washington. Redling Schaefer's back in. 6:56 for the half. St. Viator gets it into McCray, working the left wing. Now she'll drive, stops, kicks to the left corner, and Ganaris. Out in front of us, Garcia now at the IHSA logo. On the left wing, takes a 3. She dribbled right, couldn't get it to go, and Garcia makes contact with Mazzy O'Brien as O'Brien got the rebound and tried to drive ahead.
Yeah, Garcia trying to do a little bit too much, honestly, in the offensive end, and a little bit too much dribbling there. It leads to an awkward-looking step-back shot on the top of the key, and to make matters worse, she tries to get her own rebound, and the rebound was already gone by Washington, and she commits the foul.
Panthers get the inbound into Tibbs. She crosses midcourt, gives it up to McDougal, right wing. Now Tibbs gets it back, drives from the right elbow, won't go. The rebound tipped around, settles in the hands of the Lions, but Garcia double teamed in the paint before she can clear it out of the three-point line, and a timeout called by St. Viator. Kyle Brahaney knew he was in trouble. 6:23 for the quarter, and it's a St. Viator timeout, trailing by 8.
Yeah, it was a good timeout knowing that they were trapped, they were in trouble. Ava Garcia had the rebound. She was right on the free throw line, and she was automatically trapped, and no one from St. Viator helped her out releasing the ball. So good timeout there from Kyle Brahaney and this Lions team looking to stop this Washington run. Washington started the first 2 quarters very nicely. The thing with the Panthers now is that the first 2 minutes of each quarter have gone on pretty nicely for them. Can they finish the quarter strong? Can they maintain their dominance in the quarter? And honestly, if that's the case, with this last 6:23 to go here in the first half, Washington could be running away with this immediately.
Panthers lead is 8. That's as big as their lead has been. Remember, they started on that 8-0 run. It's been a game of runs, though. St. Viator probably had the better second half of the first quarter. And now Washington off to a strong start here in the second. Lions get it in, but in trouble is Garcia. She turns it over. Tibbs the steal. Tibbs up for the and one. Crowd loves it. Avery Tibbs contacts and finishes at the glass. A chance for one more.
Well, Washington already, showing off their dominance on the defensive end. That was an immediate trap off the inbounds. They pretty much did the same thing they did before. And St. Viator got the ball in the middle, but Avery Tibbs stole the ball away from Garcia in the middle, and she took it all the way herself for a layup, and she converts the and one.
Tibbs got it to go. Now Washington's going to commit a foul as St. Viator drives across the timeline. Avery Tibbs, foul was on McCray the last time down when she got the and one. And Tibbs, who is good for just south of 20 points per game on average, is on track to eclipse her season average here with 9 points already. Lions inbound. They get it to Garcia. Garcia out to Hill. Hill across the court to the left corner, and McCray. She drives. Now passes down low to Wahlberg, and Wahlberg's fouled on her way up. 5:51 for the half. 2 free throws for Emily Wahlberg. They're big ones. 11 points is the deficit, 22-11. And she'll need these to try and make it a single-digit gap.
Yeah, Washington up by 11. Easy time or easy points in the line here. The clock stopped. These are pretty big for a team that's already down by 11.
First free throw won't go for Wahlberg.
Wahlberg, a 3-sport athlete. She's excelled in cross country. She also does track and field. Went to state last year for cross country. She goes 0 for 2 at the line.
Was in the starting lineup. 1 of 5 from the free throw line is St. Viator, although they're going to get an easy layup on the Washington inbound here. Garcia stole it and took it to the house. 22-13, 5:35. Washington back on the offensive end. McDougal against Garcia out top. Drives right, pass to the right corner. 3 on the way, too strong. The rebound caroms down to Garcia. Garcia dribbles through traffic, dribbles against Redling Schaefer, crosses midcourt, drives to the left wing, kick to the left corner. Ganaris, Redling Schaefer stays out on the wing to play defense. 5:10 for the half. 9-point game. Garcia gets the handoff pass, high right wing. She has to give it up to Ganaris. She dribbles to the top of the key. It's a double dribble. Washington's defense, Michael, forcing the Lions out of system there, and they force another turnover.
Well, they're forcing the Lions out of system really because they're picking them up right away as soon as they cross half court, and sometimes they pick them up full court. So really not allowing St. Viator to get in a rhythm offensively, and really it's paying off for Washington. They're either getting turnovers and scoring off of them, or they're just getting turnovers and starting their own offensive possession.
Tibbs fires a pass to the right wing, driving, splitting traffic, and scoring Olivia Osborne, the junior for Washington. Her first points here of the state tournament.
She's more known as a three-point shooter. She knocked down a lot of big three-pointers against Providence Catholic, and she gets a layup there as another steal.
Tibbs steals it at midcourt, takes it herself to the left wing, high. Attempt there at a layup won't fall. Rebound for the Lions. Garcia ahead. Garcia to the corner. Ganaris for three, short. And a Washington rebound. O'Brien comes in and takes it from Tibbs. Tibbs to Osborne, or I should say, Osborne gets the pass on the right elbow, and a foul is called as Redling Schaefer tried to take it up. She ultimately got the pass and took it up to score. I should have said that was O'Brien firing a full court pass. It doesn't really make a difference though, because Redling Schaefer wound up with it, and with 4:13 left in the second quarter, Redling Schaefer's got a chance at 2 free throws.
I'm not exactly sure if that was a foul or not. I mean, I could be wrong, but it looked like she just was standing still, her arms were up, but nonetheless, obviously the officials called, and we're getting shots at the line.
Foul was against McCray, her third, and we're not even at halftime yet. She'll have to be careful. And Redling Schaefer got the second to fall, 25-13. Lions inbound with 4:13 left until halftime. Remember, we'll take a timeout here. First dead ball under 4. Media timeouts at the state finals. Kick to the corner, and Evelyn Hill doesn't have a three from the near side corner. Washington gets it to Osborne. She stops in the left wing, finds Redling Schaefer, drives free throw line, left block, up, and a charge. Ainsley Redling Schaefer just a little too aggressive there.
Yeah, that was, she had led with her shoulder, and that's the charge.
And we'll keep it right here as they break for a media timeout with 3:49 left in the second. 25-13 is Washington's lead. That's Redling Schaefer's first foul.
If that was Ainsley Redling Schaefer, I probably would have shot that three-pointer. She was wide open. She's known for more of her three-point shot. She obviously can drive to the basket and create other ways to score, but she's a really good three-point shooter. I would have just shot the three there. That would have been a huge basket for Washington, given that they already had this big lead. And, you know, you never really know with the St. Viator team what they can do offensively, but the more points Washington scores on a run, the worse it can be for St. Viator. And she decides to drive in and leads with her shoulder, going full speed at the basket. That's a definite charge.
And I want to correct that. That's Redling Schaefer's second foul. So she joins Danny Gaudet and Becca McDougall with 2 fouls. A foul for Tibbs, a foul for Gaudet. Or pardon me, a foul for Tibbs, 2 fouls for Gaudet, and a foul for O'Brien. All that to say Washington not really in foul trouble yet. 2 fouls, you probably want to maybe keep an eye on it, but I don't think that changes a whole lot. McCray for St. Viator has already got 3 fouls, I mentioned. Ava Garcia has 2. And also 2 for Gabriella Scaravel, who we haven't talked a lot about, but she's played solid minutes here, or 2 minutes, I should say, and picked up 2 fouls in those 2 minutes. But 3 fouls on McCray, probably the only thing you really keep an eye on here.
Yeah, St. Viator doesn't look like they go too deep, although they've gotten a little bit deep in this first half, but something to keep an eye on for sure.
3:45 on the inbound. St. Viator quickly turns it over, and that gives Kate McDougall a chance to drive to the right block. And maybe moving a little too quick, she traveled. So the Lions get it back. No inbound with the length of the floor to drive.
It's a full court man-to-man press.
And Garcia is the one that takes it across the timeline, gives it to Ganaris. And Garcia gets it back out top, tries to dribble left past O'Brien, has to give it up. Ganaris gets it on the left wing, centers it up. And now she's double teamed by O'Brien and Kate McDougall. And they'll call a jump ball, and that arrow will favor Washington with 3:20 to play in the half. And a 12-point lead. Stay right there. Here we go. O'Brien standing in front of us. You hear the bounce of the ball get a little louder as she gives it to Kate McDougall, and McDougall dribbling left to right. Crosses midcourt, gives it to Tibbs. Now Redling Schaefer dribbling left at the top of the key. Handoff McDougall, handoff Tibbs. Redling Schaefer gets it back, swing to the corner, and Osborne on the far side of the floor. And now Washington sends it back out, and they play catch along the perimeter. Now McDougall penetrates from the right wing, and she has her layup blocked out of bounds. It'll stay with Washington. 2:57 for the half, and a 12-point lead, 25-13.
Washington's offense really has made a lot of trouble for the St. Viator defense. talking to their head coach. There's an inbounds play right there.
On the left block, Tibbs couldn't get it to go. Rebound St. Viator and Garcia. She's starting to rack up the rebounds here, number 33 in the white and blue. She slows the offense down, stops at the top of the key, gives it to Evelyn Hill for a three on the right wing. Wouldn't go. O'Brien clears the rebound. Full court pass to Tibbs. Tibbs up for a layup, contested and falls short. And a rebound for Hill. Hill gives it to Adamski, back in the game for St. Viator. First off the bench for the Lions today. Pass to Garcia, top of the key, intercepted by Kate McDougal. She fires a quick pass to O'Brien. Now Redling Schaefer on the left corner. Short pass to O'Brien, all the way across to O'Brien for three. Wouldn't go. Short pass to Osborne, and then O'Brien missed the three. Garcia driving for the Lions. Left block off the glass, won't go. A high layup, but Garcia is able to get her own miss. Sends it out top. Now to the left wing, and Ganaris. Minute 55 for the second quarter. 12-point deficit for the Lions, and they turn it over again as O'Brien comes in and forces the steal. Kate McDougal gets the pass, crosses the timeline. Minute 45 for the half. 25-13, Washington looking to build on a big lead. It's largest today, and Kate McDougal was looking to send a pass to the right corner and Tibbs. Tibbs wasn't looking. Ball bounces out of bounds, and the Lions take over.
It might be one of the only times Avery Tibbs has cut to the basket when the pass was going to the corner. Normally she's there to take that three-point shot most likely, but that time just a miscommunication.
Garcia gets a screen from Wahlberg and now gives it to Wahlberg to center it up between the rings. They're in the offensive end, dribbling right to left. Ganaris picked up by O'Brien. 21 guards number 10, and now number 10 fires a pass out to Garcia at the top of the key. Scans, drives left, right-handed layup, in and out. Rebound Washington, Osborne will clear it. Up and along to Mazzy O'Brien. O'Brien, an easy path to the basket, but the layup too strong. Lions clear it, crossing the timeline. Driving is Ganaris. Ganaris left the layup short. O'Brien, a Washington rebound. Redling Schaefer out in front. Redling Schaefer had a step, couldn't score. Tibbs cleans it up, and the foul. With 48 seconds left in the half. Washington's lead is 14. Tibbs has double figures and a chance to make it 15.
Avery Tibbs and really this Washington team, once they get a turnover or once they get a rebound off a missed shot, they are on the races to the other side of the court, and they're making life really tough for St. Viator. You can really tell this St. Viator team is really tired right now. And that was a turnover right there. Hand the ball off to the baseline to inbound the ball, and they had crossed the inbounds line, and that's a turnover.
With 48 seconds left, unforced error there for St. Viator. It was Wahlberg that fouled Tibbs. Tibbs hit the free throw. It's a 15-point lead. Washington on the offensive end, dribbling left to right. They get it into Tibbs' left wing. Tibbs, and O'Brien hits the deck as she tries to throw up a layup. She's okay. The loose ball fell to McDougal, who did score. Good to see O'Brien pop up. She hit the ground hard. And the floor sweeper comes out of the other end as St. Viator drives away from all that. And the Lions have 24 seconds left. And a pass to the left block, layup, in and out. There's a lid on the basket for the Lions here in the second quarter. Panthers get it back with 15 seconds left. Full court pass to Osborne, won't go, and a rebound for St. Viator. Lions with 8 seconds, they turn it over and get it back at midcourt. Driving to the left block is Hill. She gets a pass and scores. That's how the first half will end. Washington can't get it in time for a full court heave. And their lead 30-15. Panthers up big at halftime.
St. Viator's head coach had said that his defense is really pressuring and really trying to get you to speed up themselves, but really it's Washington's offense that has done a really good job on their side of the court, really making St. Viator work for their defensive steps and defensive drives and whatever case may be for St. Viator. St. Viator just looks tired. Washington has really felt like they should be leading by more. They're up by 15 still. It's been a good ball game for the Panthers.
Everything going Washington's way here in the early stages. St. Viator hanging in there. They're getting looks. They're not falling. Washington's defense doing what it has to do. And for the game, Washington shooting 39%, 10 of 11 at the free throw line. 14 points off turnovers, Michael's the stat that stands out to me. If Washington, if you take that stat away, they're only up by a point. It's one of my least favorite cliches to say, well, if you just forget about X, Y, and Z, but I do think it underscores how well Washington's defense is playing.
Yeah, and we talked about it all game, Joey. I mean, Washington's transition offense off of rebounds and turnovers has been big. Washington hasn't really done a whole lot well on their set offense possessions. They've gotten good looks off of those, haven't been able to convert them, or they may turn the ball over off of those times. Most of their points have come off of the transition offense, and that's really what's getting them out to this 15-point lead.
30-15, Washington up big at the break. They just reset the halftime clock, 11:50 for halftime. We'll take our first break of halftime and come back with Washington Athletic Director Joe Alstat. We appreciate him making some time for us, and I'm sure his nerves have been soothed a little based on how that second quarter went. Washington up big. That's next. And CEFCU Arena, Clutch Sports Media's got live coverage of a Class 3A state semifinal. Back with Joe Alstat at halftime.
Come on, Liam, let's go! Get open! Come on, go for it! Wake up! Wake up, Liam! Oh, come on, use your head! Gotta want it! Dominate!
There he goes again. Liam's dad yelling from the stands, trying to relive his glory days.
I know. We're just trying to have fun out here and play with our friends. Like, it's not that deep.
He seriously needs to get a grip.
Does he really think he's helping Liam play better?
I feel bad for Liam. I know he's embarrassed his dad ruins every game like this. I mean, I would be too.
Someone needs to tell him this isn't about him.
Yeah, stop trying to coach from the stands and just cheer.
That's what Liam wants.
That's what we all want.
Be your student's biggest fan, not their biggest critic. This message presented by the IHSA and the Illinois Athletic Directors Association.
Welcome back to CEFCU Arena in Normal, Illinois. Clutch Sports Media's live coverage of an IHSA Class 3A state semifinal. Washington up on St. Viator 30-15 at halftime. Got about 10 minutes left until the second half resumes. Michael Savoy alongside me, Joey Wright on the call today. Michael slides out for a quick break, and we bring in Washington Athletic Director Joe Alstat. And Joe, I know there's a lot on an AD's plate when you come to a state final. Appreciate you making some time for us during the game with all I'm sure you're worried about right now.
It's great to visit with you. I'll take visiting with you at state every year if we can be here every year.
For sure, and a halftime lead for your Washington Panthers, 30-15. I made the remark to Michael just before we took a break. I'm sure your nerves soothed a little bit by how well that second quarter went.
Sure, yeah, it was a good quarter, good half overall. But you know what? I feel like we left some stuff on the table. Had a little bit of foul trouble with Danny and Becca, but we'll get them back full strength and hopefully open this up a little more.
Yeah, Washington shooting 9 of 23 from the field, about a 40% clip, a little less than that. But Joe, and I made the remark to Michael as well, defensively is where Washington's really standing out right now. 14 points off turnovers. St. Viator's had some good looks, but a lot of them have been contested.
Yeah, we forced 13 turnovers in the first half. I think if you do that again in the second half, that's good. But our defense has been good all year. We've got girls that are just understand defensive philosophies, coaches that coach it really well, and our team really anticipates. They play team defense very, very well. It's a big strength of our team, as you know.
For sure. Joe, looking at the big picture, this is your second year as Washington's AD, right?
Yes.
And all you know is state finals runs for this group. They got here last year and finished third and off to a good start here. And so many seniors on this Washington roster. Just what have they meant to the school and the community? I know you've only had a chance to see them as upperclassmen, but two very successful seasons to this point.
No, I know I've only been here for 2 seasons, but boy, it feels like I've known them for a long time. And they're a great group of kids, great group of parents. They've meant a lot to our school, obviously the basketball program, but you know, they've put us on the map basketball-wise, but also our athletic department just as a whole. We kind of had a lot of success, like you've said, and girls basketball is no different. Coming here last year, being back this year, hopefully a chance for a state championship here, and you know, success breeds success in a lot of reasons, a lot of areas, and I feel like our athletic department is just churning on over each other and just all trying to relate.
30-15, Washington's lead at halftime of Class 3A state semifinal against St. Viator. 7:45 left on the clock. Joe Alstad's with us, Washington's athletic director. Joe, how about Kim Barth? We talked about her a lot during the first half. As always, I think she's at 245 career wins or whatever. She's won about 80% of her games in Washington. Right. And Washington has always been a competitor in the Mid-Illini Conference and in those early rounds of the playoffs. These last 2 seasons, they've been special, and Kim has broken this program through in a big way.
Can't say enough good things about Kim Barth. She does so much in our school building. She's a dean of students. I rely on her a lot just for help on athletically, how things go and how things work in our school. But what she does with our girls basketball program is unbelievable. She has a great culture. She's created unbelievable culture for our kids. Girls will be part of it. Looking across the way at the stands, how many young girls are here watching and excited to be a Panther someday. But she's created a lot of that, and along with our good group of players, and it's been fun to watch and kind of have a front seat view of it.
Absolutely. And Joe, I'll leave you with this. A lot of orange and black in the stands just across from us here at CEFCU Arena, but also a lot of folks back at home tuning into our broadcast. Right. What do you guys have planned just in terms of welcome back parties, any festivities back in town? What's the roadmap ahead kind of look like?
So after our trophy game, they'll certainly get a police escort back into town. But Monday night is where we'll have our big gathering. They'll get a fire truck ride from the high school around the square back to the high school about 6 o'clock Monday night, and then we'll have a ceremony inside Torrey Gym at about 6:15 on Monday night. So everything will be on Monday night. We will give them an escort back into town after the trophy game, whenever that is. But as far as the big ceremony, we're looking at Monday night.
There you go. And hopefully we've got 2 trophy games to cover on Saturday. Deer Creek Mackinac in our coverage area won yesterday. And we'll wish you guys the best of luck here. 6 quarters away from a Class 3A state title. Joe
one
Alstad,
at a time, one at a time.
Thanks for making some time for us.
Thank you. You bet. Thank you.
Absolutely. Joe Alstad, as he said, 1 at a time, but the first half of a Class 3A state semifinal went pretty well for his Washington Panthers. 30-15 the lead against St. Viator. We'll pause for one more break, and then we are back to run through some first half stats, and we'll have the second half for you on the other side. Clutch Sports Media's live coverage of an IHSA Class 3A state semifinal continues next.
The last class of the day for my student athletes isn't English, science, or math. It's school sports, where the #1 priority is teaching, just like every other classroom. As their coach, I help them grow as leaders and become better people, preparing them for the game and, more importantly, for life. That's why the best wins are the lessons they learn, which will impact them long after their playing days are over. Encourage your student to participate in school sports. This message presented by the IHSA and the Illinois Athletic Directors Association.
Come on, Liam, let's go! Get open! Come on, go for it! Wake up! Wake up, Liam! Oh, come on, use your head! Gotta want it! Dominate!
There he goes again. Liam's dad yelling from the stands, trying to relive his glory days.
I know. We're just trying to have fun out here and play with our friends. It's not that deep.
He seriously needs to get a grip.
Does he really think he's helping Liam play better?
I feel bad for Liam. I know he's embarrassed his dad ruins every game like this. I mean, I would be too.
Someone needs to tell him this isn't about him.
Yeah, stop trying to coach from the stands and just cheer.
That's what Liam wants.
That's what we all want.
Be your student's biggest fan, not their biggest critic. This message presented by the IHSA and the Illinois Athletic Directors Association.
Game day in my house is everything. I get out of class, I grab my gear, and get to the game because I can't wait. And my dad, he does the same thing. He's an official here in Illinois. He makes the tough calls, stays cool under pressure, and knows ball like nobody else. I want to be just like him. You can too. Sign up at highschoolofficials.com.
Back at CEFCU Arena in Normal, Illinois, Joey Wright, and we bring back Michael Savoy into the booth after a halftime interview with Joe Alstad, Washington Athletic Director. He is fired up, Michael, for good reason. His Panthers 30-15 the lead at halftime, 6 quarters away from a Class 3A state title. Winner today plays Glenwood tomorrow in A round of applause for Washington as they are welcomed back onto the floor.
Yeah, Joe Alstad, the athletic director for Washington, what we had in the halftime break, he said he's been fired up the entire year for his Washington Panther athletic programs. Not just the girls basketball team being in this situation a half away from playing in the state championship game, but really, you know, just the other athletic programs I'm sure you touched on, Joey, when you talked to him. It's just Washington has had such a great athletic year. And for a school that, you know, is just in a small community right by Peoria, not a Catholic school that, you know, you could possibly recruit or have a wider range of players to choose from and kids to choose from. It's just one community. One community has had so much success with so much of their athletic programs, and the girls basketball team is just the latest example of just what a great Washington program looks like.
36-2 last year, 33-2 entering today's game. And they can't quite get to last year's win total with a win today and a win on Saturday, but they can come close, and I think Washington would settle for just 35 wins and a state title if they can close it out. And there is still 16 minutes left in St. Viator. They've had some looks. They've turned the ball over, I think, a few too many times. Washington, as I mentioned, 14 points off turnovers. Well, let's start with the Lions. What do they need to focus on here in the second half?
Well, we were talking about it before we went live, Joey. Both these teams have missed a ton of not a ton of layups, but just layups that have had open looks. Both for different reasons. Obviously, you can kind of characterize St. Viator's mistakes on the offensive end due really to their inexperience. And we talked about it. They just need to have a shot to fall, and they would be fine. Shots have fallen, but they still just feel like kind of out of sorts, kind of nervous. Offense hasn't really felt right for St. Viator, so they really just need to hone it in, calm down, relax. They're in this game. Down by 15, they can still make that comeback like they've done pretty much the entire playoffs.
And I hate to keep referencing last year's state semifinal for Washington. That didn't go their way against St. Ignatius. But they started poorly in the first half. I don't think anyone would argue that. Had a great second half. It was just a little too late, and that was their first time at state in a while. You know, since it had been since the 70s at that point, since Washington had gotten to the big stage. And even as good a team as Washington was a year ago, it took them a half to settle in. So you never know what might happen here in half number two. We saw Trinity with a big comeback bid against Glenwood that fell short in the first semifinal game. Both these teams have taken 23 field goals. Washington's only hit 9, and St. Viator's only hit 6. Biggest difference is Washington's gotten to the free throw line 11 times and hit 10. And St. Viator's 1 of 6 from the charity stripe.
Yeah, Washington's offense really is based off of not if they're not going in transition. Even if they do go in transition, they look to attack the basket no matter what. And attacking the basket really sets up their offense. Whether they shoot the ball when they're right by the basket, try to draw a foul or hit a layup, or they kick it out for a three-pointer when the defense has collapsed. It really just is this setup for their offense, attacking the basket, and they've done so much tonight.
14. Pardon me. I lost that stat. 14 points in the paint for Washington and 12 fast break points. Looking at Washington real quick as both teams are on the floor ready to start the third quarter. They are led by 12 points from Avery Tibbs, 7 points for Kate McDougall, and 5 points for Mazzie O'Brien. St. Viator, a few leaders, 5 points for Evelyn Hill, 4 points apiece for Emily Wahlberg and Ava Garcia. St. Viator gets the first stab at it here in the third quarter. They're inbounding from midcourt on the same side as we are situated courtside at CEFCU Arena. We are looking at the team benches, and we are directly across from a strong contingent of Washington fans in orange and black. St. Viator's fans are over our right shoulders. Ava Garcia is going to inbound this to Kaylin McCrae. 5 on the floor for the Lions. Garcia, McCrae, Evelyn Hill, Bella Ganaris, and Emily Wahlberg. Washington's going to bring out Kate McDougall, Becca McDougall, Danny Gaudet, Mazzie O'Brien, and Avery Tibbs. All seniors on the floor for Washington except Kate McDougall, the freshman. Ball inbounded into the backcourt.
Oh, a 1-3-1 zone from the Panthers, switching it up to start the second half.
Showing the Lions a different look. In the backcourt now, Garcia has it blocked away. Becca McDougall fires a pass full length of the court to Tibbs. She catches up with it, sends it to Gaudet. Gaudet can't hold on to it. She stepped out of bounds. And so St. Viator, now dribbling left to right, will inbound from underneath the basket and approach midcourt. Ball in the hands of Kaylin McCrae.
Not every team can pull off a 1-3-1 defense. Washington definitely has the length to have someone on the top that will cause havoc, and Becca McDougal is a good person for that.
Stopping is McCray inside of the left wing. She sends it out top to Garcia for three. Solid start to the third quarter for St. Viator. 12-point game, 30-18, 7:15 for the half. Washington back on the offensive end, dribbling right to left, and Becca McDougal can't catch up with the pass that sails over her head under the basket and out of bounds. Kicks off the stanchion, and St. Viator brings it ahead and addresses the timeline. McCray crosses midcourt, shades to the right, drives to the right wing, right elbow, puts it on the floor. Two Washington players get in and tie it up. Tibbs and Nazi O'Brien. Jump ball arrow favors Washington.
Yeah, the whole part of the 1-3-1 zone is really most zones. Get the ball out of the middle, and St. Viator caught themselves right by the elbow, and Washington collapsed their defense and caused a jump ball.
Washington to the free throw line, and Becca McDougal picks up her dribble, fires it out to Gaudet for three on the left wing. Got it to go. 33-18, 6:40 for the third quarter. Washington back out by 15.
Now Washington back in a man-to-man defense, just not even 2 minutes into the third quarter after starting out in a 1-3-1 zone.
Out top for the Lions, Ganaris. She centers it up to McCray. 6:25 for the quarter. 15-point deficit. Lions tee up a corner three that falls for Ganaris, pardon me. The junior, number 10, knocks it down. Washington almost loses it in front of us. Pass was almost intercepted, but Tibbs gets it. Tibbs fires a pass to O'Brien. Ricochets out of bounds. And Washington inbounding on the baseline here in the front court. Looks like we've got maybe an injury timeout. McCray checks out.
Yeah, it looks like it. I think that's the athletic trainer addressing her.
Yep, and it looks like she's got a cut on her leg. Doesn't appear to be in any pain. She'll get that bandaged up, and we do have a brief stoppage here with 6:10 left in the third. Washington 33, St. Viator 21. Glad you're with us on ClutchSportsIL.com or YouTube. And a round of applause for McCray. She's good to go. Has a bandage just under her right knee.
Probably a floor burn, if I had to guess.
Both these teams have gotten after it. It's been a scrappy game. McCray has 2 points. Washington gets it in. They get it into Tibbs down low in the restricted area. And she puts a layup through 35-21 with 6 minutes to play in the third. Dribbling now, Ganaris steps left. Ball centered up at the top of the key. Now she attacks the left wing. Got to the block, turned it over. Tibbs for Washington. Sends a no-look pass to O'Brien. O'Brien shot blocked under the basket, out of bounds. Washington will hold on.
I couldn't tell you the last time Washington had an offensive possession where they had to bring the ball down the court and have a set offense. They've really just been in transition.
Washington up by 14, make it 16. Quick inbound to Tibbs. Under the basket, got it to go. 37-21, 5:35 for the third. Lions have looked good from the perimeter here in the second half, but Washington not letting them get anything easy in the backcourt. And McCray is fouled. A hand check will go against O'Brien.
Yeah, St. Viator head coach Kyle Brahaney kind of was wondering where that was for a little bit now, and he finally gets the call, and he kind of breathes a sigh of relief saying, finally you call that call.
Hill on an inbound to Garcia. Garcia guarded by Becca McDougal. McDougal giving her about 3 steps. She looks to the right, finds the right wing on the perimeter. Pass to Ganaris. Ganaris down further to the corner, and McCray. McCray steps through traffic, and her layup is blocked away. Tibbs comes away with it for Washington, fires a pass to Kate McDougal all the way in the right corner, deep into the bench. Now the pass goes down low to the paint. Gaudet's contested shot rattled out. Putback follows through though, and the foul. And Washington a free throw away from 40 points on the and one from Danny Gaudet.
Her first layup was no good, but it's even better after a miss. She gets her own rebound, and she draws a contact for an and one opportunity. You love to make a layup when you first get the ball, but sometimes it's even better to hit the layup and get a foul called and have a chance for us 1 more point at the line.
St. Viator bringing in Molly Finucane off the bench, a senior number 24, playing her first minutes. Off the back iron, Gaudet didn't get it. McDougal the rebound, out to Gaudet for 3. She missed it. Rebound under the basket. for Mazzy O'Brien, and O'Brien up off the right block with contact.
Washington just on this possession of the basketball has gone 3 offensive rebounds, and they've parlayed that into, for now, 2 points. Could parlay that into 4 points with 2 shots at the line for Mazzy O'Brien.
O'Brien, 5'9" senior guard, averages 10.7 a night for Washington. Should hit that at this rate for Washington here. She's got 7 points, and Washington's lead is 20. 41-21. 4:45 for the third. Garcia across for St. Viator, picked up by Becca McDougal. A lot of size in that matchup. Now they get it to Finucane in the corner. She put it on the ground, picks it up, can't do anything with it, except try and fire a pass to Kaylin McCrae. And McCrae could not hold on to it, but it was tipped away, the officials say, so the Lions will inbound opposite their own bench. Right sideline inbound to Garcia. Garcia at the free throw line. Pass left corner. Goudet playing good defense. They get it to Garcia. She lost it. Another turnover, another steal for Washington. Kate McDougal down to the block. A lot of contact, and they'll say an offensive foul. Taking the charge is Kaylin McCrae. I don't think Washington's fans agree with that, but that was a bang-bang call.
Yeah, Kim Barth is saying she wasn't even there, and she was really close to not being there, but it looks like she was just there in time, and I believe that is the correct call, and they've been willing, officials have been calling those charging calls, so that's not a new thing in this game. There's been a few already.
4:13 for the half, or for the quarter, pardon me. First dead ball under 4 causes a break. Garcia pass to the left wing. Now they get it out to McCrae. McCrae trying to dribble past Goudet, gets to the free throw line, throws up a layup, won't go. Kind of shoveled it up with both hands and got fouled on her way up. So Kaylin McCrae, 5'7" junior guard, will shoot free throws on the other end of immediate timeout. She's got 2 points. She's 0-2 at the free throw line. There's the horn. We'll keep it right here. 41-21 Washington, 3:59 for the third quarter. Joey Wright, Michael Savoy, Jonathan Michael, and Gabe Holoka, our Clutch Sports Media crew, with you in Normal today. John Michael working on some great written coverage you'll find online for free later at clutchsportsil.com. All of our state series coverage, state finals coverage, free to read. Deer Creek Mackinac advancing yesterday, and Washington 12 minutes away from advancing if they can hold on to a 41-21 edge.
Yeah, I myself was just a little bit worried about DMAC yesterday because Coach Joni Nightingale had told me when I was at Iroquois West covering their sectional championship game that I was a little bit of a good luck charm for them. So I was thinking, okay, I'm not there. Maybe they struggle, but no. DMAC's such a great team, and they've been #1 in Class 1A for nearly the entire year, if not the entire year, and they've proven that they are worthy of the #1 ranking, and they're going to play it for, I believe it's their first ever state championship tomorrow. It is their first, so good for them. And Washington, if the score holds true, 41-21 with 3:59 to go in the third quarter. If they continue this lead and continue this domination, they're also going to be playing for its first ever state championship tomorrow.
Just to put a bow on DMAC, not to talk too much about the Chiefs, we'll cover them plenty tomorrow, but not far from Washington. I'm sure some of our listeners have enjoyed following the Chiefs' run. How about the travel Deer Creek Mackinac had to do in the postseason? Started in Armstrong, right? Was it Armstrong or Hoopston?
It was Armstrong.
Yep. And took down a really good regional there, and then on to Gilman, which is a long haul for folks in Deer Creek and Mackinac. First free throw didn't go from McCrae out of the timeout, but that's a battle-tested Chiefs bunch. We'll have them for you tomorrow, and Washington 12 minutes away from joining them. Second free throw wouldn't go for McCrae. So McDougal stops between the rings, gets a screen from her sister Becca. Kate McDougal now handing it off to Ainsley Redling Schaefer, and Becca McDougal gets it back out top. Avery Tibbs with 3:45 in the third and a 20-point lead. Calls out the offense, sends it in motion. Top of the key, just in front of the free throw line is Becca McDougal. Pass to the right corner and Tibbs. Kate McDougal out top, splits the lane, gives it up to Redling Schaefer. Kick to the corner and Osborne. Osborne attacking from the left corner, pass to the right wing, 3 on the way, won't go for Washington. St. Viator clears the rebound. Bringing it ahead is McCrae. McCrae throws one off the glass unsuccessfully. And a jump ball called with 3:14 to play here as St. Viator took it and tried to get something working on the left block. And that arrow will favor the Lions. 22-14 out of the East Suburban Catholic League coming into play today.
Yeah, you want to talk about battle tested throughout the season. A lot of these Catholic schools in the state, whether it's boys or girls sports, they're always going to be battle tested. That's a great area of sports up in the Chicagoland area, both in the city and in the suburbs. A lot of those Catholic schools are pretty good.
Lions go from backcourt to front court, down to Garcia on the block, missed it from the right side. Rebound Becca McDougal, brings it up the far sideline, fires a pass left wing to Tibbs. Tibbs puts a move on the defender, throws one off the glass, high, won't go. Got the rebound with a little bit of a stopover with Olivia Osborne. Osborne gets the assist, Tibbs gets the putback. 43-21, 2:40 for the third. Panthers looking good. Lions in the paint. They get it down to McCrae, couldn't get it to work. Panther rebound, Tibbs left wing, 2:30 for the third. Tibbs left side, out to Becca McDougal. McDougal to the corner, and a 3 on the way for O'Brien, short. Kicked off the glass, didn't quite get to the rim. Rebound for the Lions, Ava Garcia.
Yeah, we saw that three-point shot here. Joey was right by us, and her feet just weren't really set. They were really wide, and it was just an off-balance 3.
St. Viator calls timeout with 2:06 left in the third. Panthers student section still holding signs. I see some fans waving flags. 2:06 to play in the third quarter. St. Viator holding on, but the clock's going to start working against them. Whoever loses this game, Michael, has played its last IHSA game without a shot clock. It's coming next year.
Well, they had the third place game.
Oh, true. That's the one you want to avoid.
For sure. And yeah, whoever, like the teams that are in this tournament, they're the last 4 teams in each class that will play without the shot clock. So
I forgot about the third place game. My apologies. It's looking like Washington's going to avoid that, though. 43-21. Still about 10 minutes left, and stranger things have happened. Talking about rebounding, I wanted to make note of what the Lions have done on the glass. Garcia's got 6 rebounds, has done a great job of pulling those in. And 4 rebounds as well. Or, pardon me. Yes, 4 rebounds for Emily Wahlberg. I had flicked over to the Washington tab. Panthers have had the edge on the glass, though. 8 boards for Mazzie O'Brien, 6 apiece for Kate McDougal and Avery Tibbs. St. Viator out of the timeout. 22 points is their deficit. With 2 minutes left to play in the third, they get it to Garcia at the free throw line. 3 on the way out top. Garcia couldn't get the assist. It kicks off the shot clock and game clock above the glass. Into the game for the Lions. Gabriella Scaravel back in the game. She picked up the 2 fouls in 2 minutes of play in the first half. Panthers quickly set up a possession. Becca McDougal out top, calls out a play, passes to her sister Kate, right wing. Scaravel comes out to play defense. They switch. Becca McDougal has it. McDougal on a handoff, top of the key to Tibbs. McDougal dribbles left, pass to the left corner and Osborne. Osborne finding Mazzie O'Brien. O'Brien cuts from the left wing, won't fall, whistle, and a Washington foul.
I believe that was over the back on Becca McDougal.
And O'Brien,
and they will get her with the foul.
Becca McDougal called for the foul. Mazzie O'Brien a little slow to get up, walking off under her own power. She'll check out. Great sportsmanship there on the part of 2 Lions that came over, Scaravel and McCrae, to help her off the floor. She did walk to the bench largely under his own under her own power. And you don't want to speculate, but she's walking with a little bit of a limp to the end of the bench. So Potentially troubling news there for Washington. Hope she's okay. And Garcia on the other end for St. Viator. 10-foot jumper didn't go. Out of bounds. St. Viator maintains possession.
For St. Viator right now, just under a minute to go here in the third quarter. Got to take some risks. They're down by as much as 22 right now, and right now it's just you're at that point where your season's on the line. You still have another quarter to play, but the deficit might be too much to overcome in one quarter. You got to start taking those risks now.
Well, and that goes back to the point about the shot clock, which is going to be used full time as Garcia misses a 8-footer. Got her own rebound and put it back. 20-point game with 45 seconds left. That shot clock is, I think, going to really help games like this where, you know, you'll still have that sense of urgency even in the fourth quarter, although not a lot I don't think a shot clock would do for a 20-point game the way Washington's played in this one. Mazzy O'Brien will, or rather Avery Tibbs will inbound right in front of us. Mazzy O'Brien leaving the game just a moment ago. We'll get an update as soon as we can on that. Tibbs, inbound pass guarded by Wahlberg, gets it in to Kate McDougal. McDougal high on the left wing with 35 seconds left in the third. Pass to Goudet, down to 30. Goudet trying to shake off Garcia on the left wing. Back out top, Kate McDougal, picked up by Scaraval. Pass to the free throw line, Beckham McDougal. Tibbs wants a three from the right wing on the pass. Catch and shoot didn't go. Scaraval clears the rebound. 15 seconds left, drives to the right block, right-handed layup and a foul. 2 free throws on the way for the 5'7" senior guard. Key player off the bench for the Lions, averaging 3 a game.
Big shots at the line for Scaravalli, and this Lions team that really does need these points at the line with the clock stopped, down by 20.
13.7 on the clock, her first free throw off the mark. Washington preserving a 20-point edge.
Been a handful of shots so far from St. Viator that really looked like they're going to go in, but they just so just rim out and so close. They're right around the basket, makeable shots, they just haven't been falling.
Washington faithful making some noise. They do not impact Scaravella on her second free throw. 43-21, or 24, pardon me. 13 seconds left for Washington. Clock a little late to start, now it goes. 10 seconds. Washington's got it in the backcourt with Redling Schaefer. Pass to Tibbs, she passes up a 3. Kick out Goudet, 4 on the clock, top of the key. Pass to Kate McDougal on the right wing, step back 3 at the horn, and she knocked it down. Washington leads by 22 with 8 minutes to play, looking for their first state final appearance since 1977.
Wow, that offensive play, it wasn't even much of a play. It was more of, okay, we got the ball down the court, let's try to get an open shot. And it was messy from the start. They were unable to get a shot from the top of the key. They were passing around the arc. And Kate McDougal gets the ball with just a few seconds to go, and she creates herself a couple drill moves, a crossover, and then a step back that creates some space. And she drills a really nice step back jumper at the top of the key to end the quarter.
With that buzzer-beating three-pointer, Kate McDougal's got 10 points. She's 3 of 4 from the field. She's made 2 of her 3 three-point attempts. 10 points, trailing only Avery Tibbs, 18 for the lead among Washington Panthers, 46-24. And they can taste it now. 8 minutes away from a trip to the state championship game against Glenwood.
They've come ready to play today, and last year you might have thought, okay, like coming out to this game last year against St. Ignatius, they went out to a really bad start. Really big run for St. Ignatius to start the game. It really humbled them in a sense. This year the tides have flipped. They went out to a really strong start against St. Viator. St. Viator's crawled their way back a few times, but Washington really hasn't broke. They bent a few times, they haven't broken. Right now they hold a 22-point lead. 8 minutes ago for the Panthers to go to the state championship game.
It's a redemption arc to some degree. Last year's Panthers won a regional title for the 4th year in a row, but they won a sectional title for the first time since 2014. So it had been 10 years since Washington had been past the sectional round. They were able to get to state with a 36-2 record, 35-1 record coming into the state finals. third place, or the semifinal didn't go their way, third place game did, and they carried that momentum and so many players back into this year. They wanted revenge, and they've gotten it across the state. 33-2 coming into today's game, and they look the part. Tomorrow, if they can hold on, will be a new game against a good Glenwood team that had a very similar performance against Trinity out of River Forest. Titans didn't leave anything to doubt in that one.
Really, Joey, I think when you look at Washington's run to the state finals, outside of that Geneseo game to open up the regional action, that Dunlap game going forward, you can realistically think that they could lose that game. They could have honestly not won their regional, let alone be in the state finals. It just lets you know just how talented this Washington team is to go through the state's best.
Becca McDougal kicking it out to the right wing, and a three falls for G'day to start the fourth quarter. 15 seconds into the final frame, and Washington's lead is 49-24. I don't want to offend our listeners from St. Viator or anywhere else around the state, but I've got to say, as Garcia picks up a quick two there, for Washington to qualify for the state finals, I believe Central Illinois and the quality of the teams they've beaten, it's the toughest area in the state when we talk about girls basketball. All due respect to our teams up north and south, and Glenwood has faced that to some degree coming up from Chatham just outside of Springfield. Panthers get a basket.
One against St. Viator, it could get to that point, but I don't think it will. But nonetheless, not only have they been quality teams, they've ran the table against quality teams.
Tibbs for Washington, gives it to G'day, left corner, drives the baseline, short at the rim. Garcia a rebound for St. Viator. Passes to the left wing and Scaravel, and now down to the corner, and Gunaris hit the big three a moment ago. 51-29. Panthers can't take the foot off the gas just yet, although they're in good shape with a 22-point lead.
And right now the Lions have their foot planted on the gas pedal right now. They have to get going.
Time running out. Scaravel on the right block. Missed it off the backboard. Hit the side of the backboard. Washington a rebound for Tibbs. Tibbs gets it left wing. Wants a three. She traveled. Three wouldn't have gone either way. And the Lions will take over on a turnover. Well, I agree with a commenter on our live chat here. Most complete team I've seen in Illinois in a couple of years. Says David Benny there. David, we appreciate you watching and appreciate everyone who's tuned in and made us a part of their Friday afternoon. Got our computer in front of me. I agree with that completely. That's a great sentiment for Washington.
Yeah, what don't the Panthers have? They have size, they have guard play, they have shooting, they have speed, they have depth on their roster. They don't just play 5 girls. They go 7 or 8 deep. They can even go more deep if they wanted to. You know, they have numbers. They have everything.
They force a turnover. St. Viator didn't have anything on the baseline. Tibbs comes away with it for the Panthers. Finds G'day. G'day drives to the block. Up and in. She found Becca McDougal. And she gets the assist. McDougal gets an easy layup. Put it in with the right hand. 4:45 for the fourth. Washington up 53-29. And a perfect storm for Washington, too. It's not often you get a team this talented. It's not often you get a senior class with all this experience, with all this talent. Kate McDougal, the freshman, and some juniors off the bench, Olivia Osborne. But by and large, this senior class came into this season with something to accomplish, and it's gone their way here in a Class 3A state semifinal. Tibbs has it for Washington on the right wing. Panthers slow it down a little. 4:20 for the fourth. 53-29 their lead. G'day gets a pass. Left corner, drives baseline, and gets a foul. 4:14, and G'day will go to the line with a 24 points edge.
Yeah, this Washington team, it's just unbelievable. I think there's not one girl you can key on. And honestly, if you had one girl to choose to key on, it'd be Avery Tibbs. But if you key on Avery Tibbs, here's freshman Kate McDougal coming in. Here's Annie G'day, Mazzy O'Brien. They all can score, and they all can do a little bit of everything, like we said before. And just creates just such a hard team to prepare for. If Washington were to pull out this win, I wouldn't want to be in Chatham Glenwood shoes preparing for this game, that's for sure. It's just difficult, it really is. And I agree with the commenter, and I agree with the people that do say that they're the most complete team that they've seen, because it very much is.
G'day missed the first made the first free throw, pardon me, and got the second. 55-29, 4:14. And a lot of folks have said that. A lot of heads have been turned around the state. Washington opened this season with 17 straight wins. And only lost twice to this point, twice in the regular season. And their offenses look really good here in the postseason. Started with an 82-20 win against Geneseo. Garcia for St. Viator drives to the free throw line, and she'll have 2 free throws as she got fouled on her way to the basket.
Yeah, Garcia's been aggressive for pretty much this entire game. Some of her Viator teammates have been as well, but really you have to credit Washington's defense. It's been outstanding to this point. And although they've had this large lead that they've had, 55-29 to be exact, they have not let up on defense, and that's something that Kim Barth has to be pleased with.
Immediate timeout before the free throws. 3:53 left in the fourth quarter. Washington just inside of 4 minutes away from a date with Chatham-Glenwood tomorrow in the Class 3A state title game. 4 o'clock, we'll have it for you on ClutchSportsIL.com. We'll have coverage of Deer Creek Mackinaw's Class 1A state final at 10 in the morning.
Yeah, and talk about, a school like Washington that's had so much success lately with their athletic programs. Deer Creek Mackinac, Joey, their boys team is also in the hunt for a state appearance as well. They're in the sectional championship game tonight playing fellow HOIC conference rival Tremont. That should be a fun game. I believe that's in Monmouth United. So that's a little bit west of here, obviously, and that's west of Peoria even. So a little bit of a travel for them, but really DMAC's had a great winter sports season especially as well.
The volleyball program had a terrific year. That's another case. I think a lot of similarities with DMAC and Washington, obviously in 2 different classes, but a lot of players in both programs with a lot of experience. And Joni Nightingale's certainly done a good job with that DMAC girls program. Looking forward to covering them tomorrow. I wonder how those Class 1A and 2A programs handle the Friday. It's easy for the 3A and 4A teams, relatively. It's never easy to win a state title, but, you play today, all right, we're back here tomorrow. Washington and Glenwood, I would think, are close enough to get home and get a good night's rest and come back at 4 o'clock. They don't have to wake up overly early.
Well, I believe, as the free throw was missed by Garcia, the basket that Garcia is shooting on, if you look beyond the basket, Joey, on the baseline level, the seating, I believe that's DMAC sitting down right there.
Yeah.
So that answers kind of your question about what they would do on that Friday.
Yeah, and I've not talked with DMAC or Washington about their plans. For Washington, maybe you come over and stay the night in a hotel. I don't know what they did. There's 2 schools of thought. You get the experience of state, but Washington is close enough to where it's only about a 40-minute drive. But that notwithstanding, they turn around, they go tomorrow. DMAC, yeah, they had to find some time to kill today.
For sure.
And it's an easy drive for the Chiefs as well. 3:30 for the fourth quarter. Washington leading 55-30. Handoff to O'Brien, and now they get it to Gaudet in the left corner. She drives baseline, and a pass to Becca McDougal is turned over. Lions get an interception. Garcia brings it ahead. 3 on the way, short. Washington getting the rebound. Kate McDougal under the basket. 3:05 for the fourth quarter, still 55-30. Washington 3 minutes away from moving on. Tibbs on the right wing drives, kicks right corner. 3 from Becca McDougal, short. Rebound falls to Catherine Adamski. A lot of credit to St. Viator. They've hung in this one, and it's been a physical game. There's been some effort, certainly, but second half did not go their way. Remember, Washington started on an 8-0 run, and then it was 14-11 at the end of the first quarter. Strong second quarter. I think it's what's going to make the difference for the Panthers, though. They carried a 30-15 lead as we bring in some subs now for both teams. 2:32 for the fourth. Washington goes to the bench, and Adrian Donald is in the game. Let's see here. Let's try to get all the subs. Jenna Spezio is in. Peyton Swanson is in. Osborne has come back in. Listen to the crowd.
And Dia Ayers coming in the ball game for Washington, known as a fan favorite around Washington, and honestly, she's more of a fan favorite around the Peoria and Central Illinois area. She's what I've heard, pretty much a good human being. So.
Yeah, it means a lot to this Washington program. Washington always likes a chance to get her involved. She's scored 9 points this season, but certainly means a lot to the Panthers. on and off the floor. You need those players that can get after it in practice and help out with team chemistry, and Iyer, a senior.
And Garcia is still obviously in this ballgame for St. Viator. She's still attacking the basket. She has not really done anything different from the moment she stepped on the court for the first time, and now you got to give it to her. I believe she's a junior, and I could be wrong about that. Oh, she's a sophomore, so she's going to have a couple more years in the St. Viator girls basketball program, and she's setting a good example for the future Viator teams to go with.
55-32, and there's a lot of youth on this St. Viator team. I've got a good feeling the Lions will be back. They'll say goodbye to a few key seniors, Emily Wahlberg, Catherine Adamski, but by and large, St. Viator in the position Washington was last year, 2 years ago, 3 years ago with the strong senior class as freshmen. A lot of players going to be back in the fold for the Lions. Allison Wade is in the game, and a 30-second timeout called by Kyle Braney to tee in some subs. Grace Chappell's in the game.
Yeah, when you look into this ball game, and it's easy to tell by the records, you know, what the outcome could possibly be, but all the credit goes to St. Viator. You know, a 22-14 team. They're only 2-10 in their conference. That just goes to show how good the Suburban Catholic Conference is. A lot of bigger schools, a lot of 4A schools in that conference, so schools that they wouldn't see in the state finals as a 3A school. The majority of those schools are 4A schools that are really good in their own right. Loyola Academy, all those schools that they've had to go through, they obviously have to go through because they're in the conference. They have to go through them to obviously go through the playoffs and get here. So nothing to hang your hats on if you're St. Viator. You just ran into a buzzsaw of Washington that obviously wants the ultimate prize.
And Garcia's checked out. It's a new group for St. Viator. What a game Ava Garcia had for the Lions. Minute 57. And this group for St. Viator, they want to perform on the big stage. They come in and force it loose. Washington will inbound, and that'll be a backcourt violation as Donald had a little bit of trouble with the pass. So the clock stops at a minute 55 for the fourth quarter. Now how about this for Washington, Michael? There's still almost 2 minutes left. If they can get Dia Iyer a shot, and if Iyer can find the twine, this crowd's gonna erupt. Lid's gonna blow off at CEFCU Arena.
You would think if you waited outside of CEFCU Arena that a buzzer beater just went to win the game. No, Washington has a lead. It's just the right person's taking a shot, and it would make the whole arena. It would make everything just go crazy.
And all 5 of these players on the floor for Washington, you'd love to see them score. Same with the Lions here. Takes a deep team, more than a starting 5 or the first few players off the bench to make a run like this. Washington clears a rebound on a missed 3. Minute 35 for the game. Washington is going to win it. The question is by how much? 55-32 with 90 seconds left. Ball in the hands now of Spezio, calls out a play. Looks and finds Olivia Osborne, who played a big role in this game off the bench from the perimeter earlier. They get it to Adrian Donald, right wing. Donald to Iyer. Iyer a deep 2, left side. It was just a little too strong. Had the right line. Crowd was on its feet waiting for that one to fall. A rebound for the Lions up to the right wing, and a substitution timeout is called by St. Viator. They're going to bring in a few more players off the bench and get them involved. As is Washington. Washington's going to bring in a new 4. I see 4 players ready to check in, and Iyer will stay out on the floor with them. So who do we have now? Brooke Rowley is in the game. I see
Mia Johnson.
Mia Johnson's in. I see Ryan Ellis. Lainey Martin. I think that's the 5 on the floor. Joined, of course, by Iyer. See if we can get the 5 for St. Viator here in a minute with 1 minute and 6 seconds left in the fourth.
Yeah, Dyer had walked towards the sideline where her teammates were going on the floor initially, and she was almost caught off guard that she was the one that was staying on the floor. She was like, oh, me? I'm staying on the floor? I believe they're going to try to get her a shot again, so we'll have to wait and see with 1 minute 6 to go. Washington up 55-32. The Panthers have this game in hand. It's just a matter of what other fireworks are going to come with a little bit over a minute to go.
Keep an eye, too, on Brooke Rowley, number 23 in the black and orange. She's a freshman. She's not scored yet this year. Does have 4 rebounds. So if Iyer could score, it'd be a fan favorite basket. If Rowley can score, it'd be her first career points. 56 seconds left. Lions have it now on their end. In the backcourt and attacking left side is Molly Hayes. Hayes sends it back to Judith Saji. And now to the corner. Lions attacking baseline. They get an open 2 on the left baseline there from a few feet out. Molly Hayes. That's her 5th point of the year on the 2. 35 seconds left for Washington, up by 21. Gonna play for a state title tomorrow. Panthers have it out top 3 on the way. Lainey Martin missed it. Rebound still loose. Lions are gonna clear it with 21 seconds left. Up the left sideline and a foul call. And that'll send to the free throw line Molly Hayes for 2 free throws. St. Viator in the bonus. That's the 6th foul. Or no, I was looking at the timeouts, my apologies. Not in the bonus yet, that's the 4th foul against the Panthers. Iyer comes out to guard Hayes. And now St. Viator's got it with Kathleen Clary. They get it to Annie Wong with 8 seconds left. Ball's out of bounds. Panthers are gonna have 8 seconds left. 55-34.
It would not shock me if Iyer got a buzzer beater, but I believe they might dribble it out. Nope, looks like they're gonna try.
Johnson sends it over. Here's Lainey Martin. Martin back to Johnson. 1, zeros, and for the first time since 1977, Washington will play for a state title. 55-34, that's how it ends. It looked like Washington was maybe looking to key it to Iyer. They ran out of time, but it won't matter. Washington's going to have one more game, and it's for all the marbles tomorrow at 4 against Chatham-Glenwood.
Wow, what a game it was for Washington. St. Viator, give them all the credit in the world. It was not easy for the Lions. They definitely made it a game, especially in the first half, but Washington, too powerful, too strong, too motivated, honestly, to honestly collapse under the pressure that St. Viator was giving them. And Washington looking for its first ever girls basketball state title.
55-34, your final. Washington on the strength of 20 points from Avery Tibbs, 13 points from Danny Goudet, and 10 points from Kate McDougall, will play for a state title. Panthers trying to win their first ever state title. And they've got a great chance to do it tomorrow. We'll take a break and come back to close up shop and send you on your way. Washington back here tomorrow, and we'll recap how they got the Class 3A state final on the other side of this break. Stay with us.
The last class of the day for my student athlete, English, science, or math. It's school sports where the #1 priority is teaching, just like every other classroom. As their coach, I help them grow as leaders and become better people, preparing them for the game and, more importantly, for life. That's why the best wins are the lessons they learn, which will impact them long after their playing days are over. Encourage your student to participate in school sports.
This message presented by the IHSA and the Illinois Athletic Directors Association.
Come on, Liam, let's go. Get open. Come on, go for it. Wake up. Wake up, Liam. Oh, come on, use your head. Gotta want it. Dominate.
There he goes again. Liam's dad yelling from the stands, trying to relive his glory days.
I know. We're just trying to have fun out here and play with our friends. Like, it's not that deep.
He seriously needs to get a grip.
Does he really think he's helping Liam play better?
I feel bad for Liam. I know he's embarrassed his dad ruins every game like this. I mean, I would be too.
Someone needs to tell him this isn't about him.
Yeah, stop trying to coach from the stands and just cheer.
That's what Liam wants.
That's what we all want.
Be your student's biggest fan, not their biggest critic. This message presented by the IHSA and the Illinois Athletic Directors Association.
Game day in my house is everything. I get out of class, I grab my gear, and get to the game because I can't wait. And my dad, he does the same thing. He's an official here in Illinois. He makes the tough calls, stays cool under pressure, and knows ball like nobody else. I want to be just like him. You can too. Sign up at highschoolofficials.com.
Back at CEFCU Arena in Normal, Illinois. Thanks for following along with our coverage of a Class 3A state semifinal between Washington and St. Viator, and it's Washington with plenty in the tank to win it 55-34. They'll play for their first ever state title tomorrow at 4 o'clock against Chatham Glenwood. Joey Wright and Michael Savoy, our entire Clutch Sports media team. More coverage coming online at clutchsportsil.com from Jonathan Michael. Gabe Holoka took some great pictures. I haven't seen them yet. I assume they're great pictures. Gabe does a good job. He looked confident.
Yeah, and he's using my camera, and I got to say he's kept in a good shape, so that's also good for me. So
there you go. The lens isn't shattered.
Nope, the base is not messed up at all. So I was worried about that. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
He did a good job.
Gabe does a great job, and John Michael does as well. John has gone back to the post-game press conference, so reaction from the Washington Panthers coming up on our social media accounts. Follow along with John on Twitter and our Facebook and Twitter and Instagram. Plenty of coverage coming up from what's been a dream season for Washington. Back at state for the second year in a row, and in the state title game for the first time in almost 50 years. So that's where we leave it. We'll run through some final stats. 20 points for Avery Tibbs, 13 points for Danny Godet, including 3 3-pointers. Kate McDougal, the freshman, 10 points in her first state game. 9 rebounds for Kate McDougal, leads the Panthers on the glass. Mazzie O'Brien had 8 to go along with 7 points, which was 4th on the team. Mazzie O'Brien did leave the game, was a little hobbled there in the second half. We'll hope that she's okay and everything winds up good. Washington will certainly want her tomorrow against a good Chatham team. Washington, 3 bench points. The starting lineup did most of the heavy lifting for the Panthers today. 26 points in the paint, 19 points off turnovers was the big stat. 14 of those came in the first half, and they had a 15-point halftime lead. Forced the St. Viator offense to turn it over 18 times. 16 fast break points for Washington. Hit 10 of their 11 layups. 60 possessions, scored on 24 of them. Averaged just under a point per possession. And led for all but 7 seconds. Scored early with an 8-0 run, and the first basket of that run came 7 seconds into the game. Washington never trailed in this one. For St. Viator, what a game from Ava Garcia. 14 points, was big on the glass with 9 rebounds, had 3 steals. 7 of those rebounds were on the defensive glass, also with 2 offensive rebounds. Washington let her get a little loose there, but did a great job of containing pretty much everyone else. Bella Ganaris had 6 points, and that was second on the St. Viator roster. Both those points were on threes. Evelyn Hill had 5 points, and Washington, or St. Viator, just 10 points in the paint. Did have 13 points off turnovers, but they lose the battle on the glass in a big way, 38-26. Washington had more defensive rebounds with 28. St. Viator had total rebounds with 26.
Yeah, I mean, I think the game, I felt like the game was over when you looked out the court and you saw that St. Viator's players had their hands on their hips and they were hunched over a little bit. They looked tired. And at that same time, Washington looked like they were energetic. They looked like they had all the momentum. It was probably like early to mid second quarter that you can really see that. And just give all the credit in the world to Washington. Their defense really went into their offense, and their offense really was just attacking the basket. Either the defense collapses, they figure out a 3-point shooter, or they get an easy opening to a layup, or they get fouled with the layup, and it's really just their offense, and they've done a really good job all season long with that, and now they're playing for a state title tomorrow night.
4 o'clock against a good Chatham Glenwood team that had little issue with Trinity in a semifinal that pushed this one back. Thanks to our listeners for following us. This game tipped off about 30 minutes behind schedule, and it was all Washington once it did tip off, 55-34. Michael, a lot of fun calling today's game with you, and I appreciate all your hard work. It's a busy week for all of us at Clutch Sports Media and everyone that covers basketball around the state. It's winning time. Girls State and boys sectional finals tonight.
Yeah, speaking of boys sectional finals, we also have audio broadcast of the morning Kankakee game at Ottawa later tonight. So think we're done here at Clutch Sports Media broadcasting today? No, we're not. So we're going to have another one on hands, and that should be a great basketball game between one of the best teams in Mid-Illini and one of the best teams around the, I guess you can say, Chicagoland area. So, yeah, it should be a fun one.
Kankakee and Morton in a boys game tonight, Class 3A sectional final at 7 o'clock. And 2 audio broadcasts for us tomorrow. Deer Creek Mackinac plays for a state title at 10 a.m., bright and early. Washington back here at 4 to play for a Class 3A state title. We're going to close up shop and let everyone get set for the next semifinal, a Class 4A matchup between Belleville East and Nazareth Academy, then Loyola Academy and Rolling Meadows. After that, and best of luck tonight to Trinity in a third-place game against, or best of luck to St. Viator, I should say, in a third-place game against Trinity. Good luck to both teams. For Michael Savoy, John Michael, Gabe Holoka, I'm Joey Wright. This has been Clutch Sports Media's coverage of an IHSA 3A state semifinal at CEFCU Arena in Normal. Washington wins it 55-34. Thank you for listening. Catch us tomorrow. We're back here at Normal.